But the ethics implications on her as a researcher, immersing yourself in the data. They always say immerse yourself in the data, but what if that data is like immersing yourself into really hot water? It burns. And her guidance really does include breathing and other practical ways that we can manage this. But one of the other examples was our GIBS alum, who's now at Copenhagen Business School, who was doing research on post-conflict societies. And it was in Uganda. They were looking at social enterprises run by the youth. They went and they did field work in the community, lots of having to be there, having to participate. She also said, I can't remember if it stayed in the story or not. So each chapter tells a story, then introduces the literature, and then gives the advice. She's Ugandan, and she had a Danish co-author, and she said her job was to keep on saying, no, she's not going to give you money in the local language, because these people were asking for money, hoping to get money. But they eventually established trust, got some information, and the people that they were studying were saying, you know, why do you say you're going to not report our identities? We're very proud of the work that we do here. We want you to actually use our names. So they go back home. They feel very pleased with themselves. They start analyzing the data, and they realize, the same as what Anna had, we have so many gaps in our understanding, and they decide we want to go back. Now, first of all, if you work with a youth, if you work with displaced people, if you work with in an area where people are settling and getting on their feet, and lots of these youngsters who were social entrepreneurs were very dynamic and finding ways to get on their feet, all of these suggest that they're not going to be where you left them. So just finding the respondents again was incredibly hard. So when they finally found these people, and they could, and they were dispersed all over the show, but now there's a very strong sense of trust that they really care enough about our study that they want to hear further. And now these people are opening up, and they say things like, I feel really bad about the people I had to kill during the war, and I really feel bad about the women I raped during the war, and I really feel bad that I was the concubine of the warlord, but it was the only way I could eat. Now you're like, should we or should we not use their names in the reporting of the data? Because you know, as you got to know these people better, it turns out that you were dealing with people, as so often happens under war circumstances, who were murderers and rapists and prostitutes. And so I think one of the big calls that came out of the book is that our understanding of the nuances of ethics just inadequate for the challenges that we have to deal with. And what happens is Lisa on her own, and Saad on his own, and Rebecca and Tilda on their own, innovate through these processes when truthfully, whether there's a signature on the form or not, is the least of the ethical challenges that people have to navigate. So one of the hopes that I have with this book is that it will start a conversation about what are the real ethical issues that are faced by participants and researchers when they go into the field, because in the case of Wasta, as in Lisa's case, it went back to the researcher, and a huge part of the ethics dilemma was actually lying with the researcher.